Hey, what's up my friend? It's Keala Kanae here, and in this quick video, we're going to talk about a couple of mindset shifts that are required in order for you to break through that six-figure ceiling and get to that 7 or even 8-figure per year business, right? Over the years, I've gotten from 6 figures to 7 figures to 8 figures to multiple 8 figures per year. We're now on track to almost 9 figures as I'm shooting this video. And it happened though, making that transition was really just a couple of key components, key mindset shifts that allowed that breakthrough from that 6 to 7 figure per year mark. I'm going to cover those in this video, so hang with me all the way up until the end. All right, so in this video, I'm going to cover 2 major mindset shifts that are going to help you turn your 6-figure business into a 7-figure business and beyond. And if you have a 7-figure business, it might be the same thing that transforms it into an 8-figure per year business. So hang with me for just a bit. Now, before I get into that though, if you like this content, give the video a like. Go ahead and subscribe, turn on that notifications bell, drop a comment in the chat, let me know that you're getting value out of this, right? All of those things help support the channel so the channel can help support you, right? Beautiful little symbiosis we got going on there. So if you like it, like it. All right. Now, with that said, 2 things. One is focusing on the difference between urgent versus important, right? Urgent versus important. This is a major shift for me, and it's one that I've had to train my team on as well. See, in business, oftentimes we can get wrapped up in what's urgent, right? Meetings pop up. There's requests for our time. The business runs into challenges. Markets change. There's problems with the customers. There's support tickets. There's fulfillment that needs to be handled. And all these various things. And on any given day, there's tons of obstacles that we're running into, and it feels like everything is urgent. And oftentimes what happens is we sacrifice what's important for what's urgent, and it keeps our business from really ever growing beyond whatever ceiling we've achieved thus far, right? Because at every level, there's another devil. Right? At every level, there's going to be more and more things that pop up that feel increasingly urgent, right? So one of the things that I do in my planning is I'll take my daily tasks and I'll break it out into a quadrant like this. Here, I'll write urgent. Here, important. Here is urgent and important, right? And here is not urgent, not important. Now, this might sound silly, but there's been several times that I've had something on my calendar, on my to-do list, on my task list, that when I really looked at it, it was like, it's not urgent and it's not important. Why the hell am I spending any time on this, right? So it might seem obvious, but really it's not. So if you're anything like me, you have like a running task list of things that you have to accomplish, or maybe it's built into your project management platform or wherever it is, right? For me, I just keep a list of tasks that I know that I want to accomplish. And as I mark those off, some of them get marked off, some of them move into the next day, and it is what it is. But I start out my day by categorizing them into one of these 4 categories, right? Is it urgent? Is it important? Is it urgent and important? Or is it not urgent and not important? This category gets done first. This category gets done second, this third, and this not at all, right? This is stuff that I take off my calendar. I tell my assistant to remove from my calendar or change, they deal with this person or this email or whatever it might be, but it's just not worth my time at all. If it's both urgent and important to the livelihood of the business, it gets done first. So I'll give you some examples, right? Important. Emailing my customer in my business, emailing our customer list on a regular basis, providing them value, providing them content, keeping them engaged with the brand and the business, even if they're not a customer, even if they're just on our leads list, right? Keeping them engaged, continuing to provide value to them, sending them to our blog posts or sending them to videos or whatever it might be. Keeping that leads list engaged over time is important. Is it urgent? If I don't email the list today, right? If I don't write an email, or if somebody on my staff doesn't write some content that goes out to the list today, is anybody going to feel it? Nobody's even going to notice it. Nobody's even going to think about it, right? And then what if it happens for another day? And then it happens for another day. See, it's not urgent. There's no fire to put out. but it's critically important, right? At one point in my business, we had grown so fast and I had hired somebody on staff who forgot that one thing. And because of that, I had 1.6 million leads. 1.6 million leads, right? That's tens of millions of dollars worth of leads from online advertising that we had to just let go. Couldn't contact them anymore because we had not emailed them for so long. They had forgot who we were. They kind of fell into a little hole in our ecosystem and just gone. And so I had to just flush that money down the toilet because one person forgot to do what was important because they kept just focusing on what was urgent, right? So it's important, but it's not urgent. Nobody's going to hurt if it doesn't get done. But the compounding effect of it not getting done over and over and over and over and over again over time will kill the business, right? So urgent is like, a critical problem that we're running into right now. As I'm shooting this video, we're right in the midst of the pandemic, right? The coronavirus pandemic. Consumers in our marketplace are having less access to capital. Some of the money is drying up. Millions of people have filed for unemployment. So, some of our consumers just don't have an employer, so they can't even go get capital to buy our products if they wanted it. They can't qualify for credit. Their income is evaporating, and so our back-end sales are decreasing. That's urgent, right? It's something it's a problem that needs to be solved right now. It's a problem that we need to address. It's a problem that we need to think our way through. And in fact, as I'm shooting this video, I just got back from taking a week off in Tahoe just to think through these major problems that we're facing that our business has never faced before. But at the same time, is it important? Is it going to stand the test of time? No. Over time, sure, is there going to be a recession? Probably. Is there going to be, some blowback in the economy? Probably, most likely, right? But eventually it's going to turn back around, right? So it's urgent, but it's not necessarily important to the life of the business, but it is important to the business right now. So that would be both urgent and important. Maybe you have somebody who's hitting you up right now, asking for a meeting, asking for your time, wants your availability, wants to get on your calendar, wants to get a call with you for whatever reason. I get this a lot. And really, when you look at it, the conversation is both not urgent and not important. It's not going to change anything in your business right now. So why do it? Why take an extra 30 minutes or an hour out of your day to talk to someone out of just courtesy and kindness, right? I just like to tell them, hey, listen, this isn't something that we're focused on right now. With everything that we're facing in the business, this isn't a conversation that I think is going to be useful of my time right now, but I'll be glad to revisit this in the future should that arise. Is that fair? Do you understand? They always say yes, right? So sometimes we got to get rid of that stuff. And then, you got team members that are somebody who's important is maybe about to quit, or somebody's complaining about, not getting a raise or whatever it is, right? And so there might be some things that pop up on a day-to-day basis that are urgent that you want to address. So that's thing one, identifying the difference between urgent and important and making sure that you're always doing what's important, right? And some of what's urgent. But what ends up happening for most businesses is they start becoming so reactive to their business needs that they end up doing only what's urgent and forget about what's important, and the business never grows in the long run. Big, big difference. Now, one more thing to cover, right? And this is a big one, and it's the long-term versus short-term, right? Long-term thinking versus short-term thinking. And here's a general rule that I found. If it feels good today, it's probably costing you something tomorrow. And what hurts today probably feels good tomorrow, right? Think about going to the gym as a simple example, right? Hurts today, does not feel good today, but in the long run, it feels good tomorrow, right? And that's why we do it. In business, sometimes the things that hurt today, they're gonna feel good in the long run. And typically, what feels good today, just like with going to the gym, you feel a lot better to just go sit and eat a pizza. But in the long run, that's going to hurt, right? In business, sometimes what feels good today, what solves today's needs, what solves today's problems is actually going to hurt in the long run. For example, recently, my team and I, we were making some changes to some of our back-end sales sequences. And my team, in the hustle and bustle of getting that done, they decided to, integrate some of the data that was coming out of that process. And instead of waiting for and outsourcing to a team that can help make sure that we keep all that data inside of our CRM. They started just posting it into Google spreadsheets, which can be okay if it's a temporary Band-Aid. But when I come across it and I start looking, I'm like, why is this going into spreadsheets instead of just going back into the CRM? Like, why are we passing that data off over here and then forgetting about it, right? Feels good in the short term. It solves today's problem. But in the long run, when we're going to look up our customer data or pulling up a customer record and we're wondering what happened here, somebody, 2 employees from now or a whole year from now or a whole cycle from now might not even realize that they're supposed to go look at these Google Sheets that somehow got lost, right? So it's something that solves today's problems, but it causes problems for tomorrow. It's just pushing the problem backwards into tomorrow. So sometimes it's important to just take a few steps back, take a little bit longer today to solve the problem so that it's set up for the long haul. It's set up for a big win in the long term, right? I cannot tell you how often I have been working with somebody or somebody's asked me for help to look at their business, and their business is plagued by way too much short-term thinking. They are thinking about what makes sense today, right? Typically, digital marketers are really good at the short-term thinking. They think that the whole game is customer acquisition, advertise, generate more leads, get more customers, get more people through the front door. What they don't tend to do is invest in the audience that they've built, invest in the leads that they've generated, invest in the people that haven't given them any money, continue to create an epic brand experience for people who've never bought a single thing from them, continue to create an epic brand experience for the people who have bought something from them, and to really build a long-term relationship where people are going back to their families and telling their families about this or their friends about this experience that they've had with a company. Most businesses are worried about getting today's money and they sacrifice tomorrow's money, the real money that's built in the long game, right? The money that comes in the form of equity, that comes in the form of an exit, that comes in the form of acquiring your competitors and bringing them into the business over time, right? And absorbing some of the middlemen in your industry so that you can take, if you've got a middleman that's getting 20% margin on your business, you can absorb them. You have an extra 20% that you add into your business. It takes long-term thinking to think about that, to build and play chess around that, knowing that you want to acquire that at some point. It takes long-term thinking, and oftentimes it means that you got to sacrifice doing the shit that feels good right now, right? It means you got to hurt right now so that tomorrow can be the big win. And most people just aren't cut out for that. But if you will take these two things, if you will stop sacrificing what's important for what's urgent and focus on making sure that what's important is always getting done and most of what's urgent is getting done. And if you will ask yourself, is this short-term thinking or is this long-term thinking? Is this the right decision that's going to benefit the business 10 years from now, 5 years from now? If I make this decision right now and we make this transition, is it still going to feel good 3 years from now? If you're willing to make those decisions, really ask yourself those questions, you will break through whatever ceiling you're facing right now and graduate to the next level. And I hope to see you there. So drop a comment down below if you got some value out of this. Go ahead and comment, like, drop a comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, sing the praises, say me a prayer, all those awesome things, and let me know what else you would like to hear from me down in the comments. Check the video description, and there may be a link somewhere around here to some other cool-ass content as well. I will see you in the future, my friend. Take care.